Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you.
Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Shay Baby, and welcome to the Brown Book series. Oh my God, I am so excited today. I know y'all saying, Shay, you always excited. So what? Y'all about to be excited too. I'm telling you. This next young lady, listen, I'm gonna tell her business right. Because when I first started talking to her, I was like, I think they like a sorority sister cult type thing. It's like 4 of them, right? And they roll together, they write together. We already talked to one of them. She was like, yeah, they're my dogs, let's go. And I was like, I need to call me an author because I want to roll with these ladies, honey. So, you know what I'm saying? I had to pick them off one by one. So, ladies and gentlemen, this sweetheart, she's so sweet, man. Bring her to the stage. Award-winning USA Today's best-selling author, Miss Sherelle Green. Hi.
Hi.
How you doing, darling?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I love your braids.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to get used to them because they're kind of long.
Girl, you know I love them. You know I love my old long braid, honey. Give me your long braid. And they look so cute, your old face and stuff. Sherelle, how you been, darling?
I've been good. Busy but good.
Busy but good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So y'all know here I tell all my business, right? And you are such a sweetheart because I had to reschedule because these dang on house stuff was just not letting me be great. And you was like, God, no problem. What you need, sis? I was like,
I get it.
and then I had email issues. She was like, no problem. What's up? You know, I really appreciate you, girl, because you know.
Oh, no problem. You're welcome. Just go with the flow. I get it.
Yes, girl. You I'm a USA Today's best-selling author, honey. You gonna have to. I would be like, okay, girl, I get it. So I appreciate that. So Sherelle, where are you from?
I am from Chicagoland area in Illinois.
Okay, do you still live there now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so before we get into all the books and your brilliant writing, tell us a little bit of something about you. What is a day in the life for Sherelle?
A day in the life for me? Ooh,
yes, girl.
Crazy.
I'm gonna write another book.
Day in the life will probably I just started pursuing writing full time back in 2017. So now my days are different than they used to be because my background is in sales and marketing. So now I mainly focus on my literary career.
Okay.
But a day in the morning is getting up early. I'm typically like waking up, you know, I'm a morning person. So if I can get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, get in some good words, that's a good day for me. If I can have a couple thousand words written by lunchtime, that's even better. Typically, it's walking the dog. I have other people that I work with industry-wise, so I do a little bit of work on that end, other marketing work and things like that. And I am addicted to coffee, so typically my whole day includes like a couple cups of coffee.
Girl, me too. And I'm telling you, in this new house of mine, I'm getting like a whole little, like a cafe station.
Ooh, yes.
Yes, because I like different flavors and different. I'm like, okay, this is cute. So yeah, I like okay. I told you we twins, girl.
Oh yeah, my husband feeds into my addiction. Thank God. We got the cappuccino, the Keurig's, the regular coffee. We get it anytime we go traveling. So we mix a bunch of different coffee flavors together. So yeah, I'm addicted.
Yeah, I'm the same way, girl. Give me some. Listen, wine, coffee, and tequila are my 3 addictions.
Well, I love all those. All of them,
you know. And on a good day, it'll be all at the same damn time. Yeah. But Sherelle, so when did you know you wanted to become a writer?
I've always wanted to become a writer ever since I was young. It was like I was 3, 4, barely able to write, and used to scribble all these pictures and put them together in a story that I would like just go and like tell my parents. So that was something that I always wanted to do. And my grandmother loved books, so she always took me to Borders. I love my Borders before they closed, so she used to always take me there. And since I was like a little girl, and we would sit in there for hours and just read books, and then she would buy me a ton of books. And my mom actually writes too, so it kind of runs in our blood anyway to love reading and writing. It's like just a family thing that we kind of have always gravitated towards.
Is your mom published too?
No, she didn't. She dabbled in like poetry and things like that.
Okay.
So actually, my sister and her have that in common. They're really great poets. I always say I'm the writer in the family, but poetry, they're way better at it than me. So,
they got a way of words, huh?
Yeah, they're great at that. But so she's always done it with that, and we both have it in common, like with the news journalism and stuff like that.
I totally love that. So you do graphic designs too, right?
Yes, I do. So, I mean, because I had a career in marketing when I was in corporate.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, to date, I still work with some of those clients and just do it on a consultation basis or things like that. Mainly because I meet people, then I fall in love with people. So I have a problem letting go of some of those relationships. So if they need something, they just call me. I'm like, yep, I got you. And my husband actually went to school for graphic design, so he anything I didn't know. So we're an artistic family over here. That's
what's up. That's okay. I ain't mad at you at all. So, how hard was it for you to become published?
I guess, you know what, it wasn't actually that hard for me, mainly because I think I kind of fell into it. So in college, I wrote my first like short story. It was like 50 pages. Because I always wanted to write a book. So I remember I called up my grandma and was like, hey, I finished this book. Do you want to read it? She read it. She thought it was great. But, this was back in like 2005. So I'm not even, I could be wrong, but I'm not even sure that Amazon had the book platform, back then. So for me, it was like, okay, well, what can I do? So I went to a local printer. I printed off copies and I sold them around campus.
That's what's up.
I went at home, gave it to my family and friends. And then when I really wanted to like write a book, it's just I got into news journalism. So it kind of took like a back slate a little bit. And my grandmother was calling me quite a bit. And she's like, sweetie, you always wanted to write more books. You only wrote the one, why don't you write another one? I said, okay, grandma, I will. Well, she passed away. And it was on my heart so heavy that I didn't actually get to fulfill, to finish writing the book when it was something that both of us wanted, like a full-length novel. Right. So that's my short story. So it hit me pretty hard. And I know everybody grieves differently, but for me, I saw, my mom going through her grief and trying to handle my grandmother's death. And then for me, it was just knowing that I wanted to do this thing for her. Right. I finished my first book in 2011, and I kind of based the story off of a grandmother who leads her grandchildren to find love, mainly because out of me and my cousins, because I'm one of the oldest, he was my boyfriend at the time, but she got to meet my husband, but she wouldn't get to meet any of the other spouses of my cousins. So I said, okay, I really want to write about a love story where the grandmother, even though she isn't here, leads her grandchildren to find love. And so I self-published it in 2012, and I actually went to RT Book Lovers Convention, which was RT Book Reviews, I think back then, and I entered it in a contest and made like the top 10. So then I actually was like, oh, okay, now I get to talk to people in the industry, which is something I've never done. Right. And so they all kept asking me, oh, so do you write? And I said, well, I just self-published my own book, on the Amazon platform. And so I said, yeah, so it exists in the world. And so when I went to like a meet and greet with Harlequin, I actually was like, oh man, like I love the Kamani line. I love reading them. I wonder like if they're accepting pitches. And so I kept looking through my program and either they weren't or I had just missed it. Mm-hmm. And I remember looking to my left and Brenda Jackson was sitting right there. Oh, snap. And so I must have looked like I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do when they said, does anyone want to talk to us? And I'm like standing there looking crazy. And she literally, and then I see her and I'm starstruck because she's one of my favorite authors. And she goes, sweetie, what are you doing? I'm like, I was going to pitch my story, but I don't know. And I already published it and I don't know what I'm doing. And she's like, well, go up there and pitch to her editor. And I'm like, you want me to pitch? Was you sitting right there? And I almost lost it. And instead I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to just take the chance. I pitched to Harlequin, to the Kamani editor, with Brenda Jackson right there. And then 3 weeks later, they were offering me a 3-book deal. So
oh my God.
It kind of just fell into place. I didn't plan it. It just happened.
That is so freaking cool.
Mhm.
I never knew that.
Oh yeah. Brenda Jackson's so sweet, and it's like, me meeting her, it's like was already like a culture shock, already, and then to have to pitch, and I know she's sitting there. I was like, oh my God, Lord help me, but it
She's
worked
sitting
out.
there rooting you on. That's
It worked out.
That's what's up. Okay, so now are you hybrid or are you completely traditional now?
I'm hybrid. I've always been hybrid. Yeah, I think because I started off with self-publishing those 2 books, and then got the deal with Kamani. They're really the only line I've ever written for. And yeah, I'll probably always be hybrid.
Okay, all right. I love that. This is so pretty sweet. All right, Sherelle, this brings us to our first segment here at the Brown Book Series called Name That Book. When we take a passage, a character, or something related to one of your books, and you have to name that book. And if we do a character, because you have a lot of series, it'll be the main character of that book.
The main character. Okay.
Okay, you ready?
I think so.
Yeah. Put my eyes on.
Oh, those are cute.
Girl, can't see. Thank you, sugar. I need to do something about these dang on things now. Okay.
They're cute though.
Thank you, girl. I had to try, honey. When you have as the church folks say, afflictions, you have to be able to dress them up.
They're cute though.
Thank you. All right. Name that book. It's a passage. Oh, I like this book too. Oh, I'm gonna ask you about this. Okay. Name that book. The summer of 1998. That revelation was almost as unsettling as the dark eyes staring back at me.
That is Carter's Undoing.
Girl, Carter, he undid me too, baby. Let me tell you about that noise, honey. Oh my good sweet Jesus. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Carter can get it. Okay. Next up, name that book. Character. Mya Winters.
That was Beautiful Surrender. That was my 4th book, I think. Yep. Yeah.
Beautiful Surrender. Look at you.
Shit series. Love those ladies. That's what started it all. So yes, love those ladies.
Mm-hmm. She's like, I know my books. God, I know my books. Okay. Now this is another one of yours. It's one of my favorites.
Okay.
All right, passage. I would get this passage though.
You make me nervous.
This is something that's so me. Mika, what's taking so long? This dick ain't gonna fuck itself.
Oh no. I don't know if it's single AF or still single AF. It's single AF. Okay. It's only because I just came out with Still Single AF, what continues their story. I just came out with that in February. So it's like all clouding together as one book.
But that passage right there, honey, that boy said it ain't gonna work. What you doing?
Meek.
Yes, girl. Mika was like, I'm coming, girl. She had a drought.
Do you know what? In that book where she does like the ratchet rhymes that she has?
Yes.
That's about as close as I can get to my mom and sister on the poetry. That's about as close.
Girl,
that's as close as I can get.
What's that? Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Yeah.
I said, this is cute. I like that. And it's so funny. I love this book. But I can be reading all other books of yours. But I was like, twinkle, twinkle, little star. So that's like a little running joke with me and my friends. We were like, where you going, girl? Twinkle, little star.
I love it.
Yes. And my little niece was like, twinkle, twinkle.
Grown folk stuff.
Grown folk stuff. Like, my business, little girl, my business. Name that book. Damon Barker.
A Tempting Proposal.
Tempting Proposal.
My first book.
Yes, that book cover was cute.
And that's the one that was Seductive Merger. That's the one that got me that I ended up getting a book deal for so we changed the name, obviously, when it went with Kamani, but that's the one I had originally self-published.
Oh, so you had to change the name because you was now with Kamani, or?
Well, I mean, I don't think I had to. Like they gave me all name options, and I didn't like any of them, so I gave them names that I liked. But Seductive Merger, I had chose that, and I felt like it fit. But Attempted Proposal was also a title I chose, and it felt like it fit more. And it seemed more romantic. So I remember talking to my editor, Shannon Chris, and I was like, I'm just gonna go with let's go with the proposal. So they were actually really helpful with letting me pick the name I wanted it to be.
That's what's up. Girl, that book was good. I was like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, thank you.
It was. Girl, a couple of your books out of rest. Oh, honey, I like this Miss Old Sherelle. Honey, I want to talk to her. Okay. All right, last up. Name that book. My demons are mine to slay. My burdens are mine to carry.
Oh no. Is it Jedidiah's Crowne and Glory? Oh yes, it's my Reese.
I'm about to say Sherelle.
That's sad that it even took me.
I was like, she ain't write this book. If she don't get this, I'm gonna talk to her.
We just not gonna comment on that. But yeah, that's my reason. You know, they run together sometimes where, or if you reread some of your books, because like I'm still working on like the next one coming out in that series.
Right.
So I had to reread my Crowne Legacy series, which then meant I had to reread like Carter's Undoing that introduces the crowns. So for me, it's like, it's like I'm thinking about it all. And I'm like, oh, this should be really easy. And it was. I thought a little too hard. But
you did good, though. You did wonderful. Honey, look, some people still email me, but like, girl, I still don't know who that person was you said. I was like, girl, let it go.
I know. It's hard sometimes, honestly, to remember your work. Is, you remember some stuff, but the some of the passages you pulled, I'm like.
You be like, okay, girl, I don't know what that is. So... what's his name? Jedidiah?
Jedidiah.
What is name? Is that a Bible name? What is name?
Yes, it is. It is.
I thought so, but I don't remember him. I gotta go back and read this boy, this old Bible, girl.
Yeah, he's, you know what? The Crowne Legacy is definitely my prettier series. And I know that for when it came to Jedidiah's Crowne and Glory, and when it came to that name in particular and stuff like that, everyone knows he's an enforcer and he's, a killer in the previous books, but he also prays before he kills and he prays after he kills. He's very religious, which I knew would be controversial, but he's getting a lot of love. So I
actually like that he did that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, okay, he cool. He ain't just no heart, just no,
Yeah, he's not heartless. He's hardcore, but he's not heartless.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So Sherelle, tell us a little bit about this book, Jedidiah's Crowne and Glory. It's book 3 of your Crowne Legacy series, and we're gonna talk about this book. But girl, this Face Down Fridays, I got. So tell us a little bit, because I like her. These names, honey, is killing me. Tell us a little bit about Jedidiah's Crowne and Glory.
So with Jedidiah's Crowne and Glory, you have Jackie D and you have Corey as the main hero and heroine. And for anyone who have read my previous books like Carter's Undoing, Face Down Fridays, or Sins of a Saint, they know Jedidiah to be very quiet, kind of like reserved, but not in the sense that he is just like a shy person. It's just he only speaks when he feels like he needs to, which is not often.
And he's real sexy, girl.
And he's sexy, but I also made him where he's, you don't look at him and his brothers and think he's like the most attractive in the room, because he's just, an everyday Joe. I wanted to really focus on a hero that didn't have like the washboard abs and, like the gorgeous like beard and eyes and stuff. And he's not that. I mean, when I talk about his nose, you can tell it's been broken a few times, so it's never going to be, back normal. And Corey is my plus size heroine, which is like for me and them, they are two characters who have been introduced in so many other books. And I knew that they would be together, but I think as an author, you just never know how explosive it would actually come through until you're working on the book. So I loved how they just melted together. And it's pretty much that she needs protection and he's the one that is going to protect her. So, whenever it comes to the whole bodyguard protecting someone, there's sparks that have to fly.
They just have to fly, and they flew. They really, really flew. Now, Sherelle, you do a couple of cussing stuff in your book now. Let them just say, and these sex scenes, girl, is I'm here for all of it. So, would you be considered a erotic?
Yeah. What was it? What did they start calling? It's a group of readers actually that start calling Crowne Legacy, an erotic crime thriller.
I saw that. That's I was like, is that?
I started using it because I felt like if I did call the books that, it was the most understandable because, like, since it starts with Face Down Fridays for this series,
yeah.
And that's a very erotic book because the heroine Jade, she owns a sex club.
Yes.
And like for you know, you mentioned a little bit in my intro about my my close girlfriends who are authors. So Angela Sills and I had actually wrote High Class Society that first came back in like 2015, and I introduced Jade into Sapphire Temptation. So, and Jade has also been in Bad Decisions, Good Regrets, which was my social experiment series, and she's the one that introduces the fruit roll-up method, which is a sexual method.
I've been eating fruit roll-ups ever since.
So I knew that she had to, you know, be with someone who was going to kind of match her energy. And I also really wanted to dive into that sex club more because, you know, you're going to read more about it. Yeah. And, you know, I think for me, it's like I battled between this series, like, should I write it under a pen name? Like, are people going to accept it when they have Sherelle Green, who wrote Attempted Proposal, and then Sherelle Green, who's writing Face Down Fridays, but it's gotten so much love where I'm glad I kind of kept it writing under my name.
I'm glad you did too, and I like the new, because I saw the new name, you know, the what is the erotic crime thriller, and I was like, that's kind of exactly what it is. And I was like, you know, I was a little confused. I'm like, did she change it to? Is that her subgenre now? Is what she's writing?
I don't even know. I mean, it couldn't. I have no idea if it exists. I just know that so literally I was on a Zoom and they kept calling it that. It was a book club, so I was like, oh, okay, well I said that I didn't think about what it would be categorized as. I just kind of wrote what was in my heart to write because it was the story I wanted to tell. And especially with all of the siblings in the Crowne Legacy being foster siblings.
Yes.
It was really close to my heart to like want to definitely write this story or this series. So I'm like, but they're not going to be a typical family. I'm like, they basically are, you know, honored for their crimes. They're accepted for what they do illegally, you know, and legally, but mostly illegally. And I said, we just gonna roll with it. Erotic crime thriller, we just gonna see.
I loved it. I was reading this series, and I was like, she sounds like she write me and my brothers. This is cute. So, Face Down Fridays and Sins of a Saint. Now I can get with the whole Sins of a Saint, but girl, Face Down Friday. How you, girl, Sherelle? Face down. What is she? Face down, ass up. What's this about to happen? Girl, okay, first of all, for me, I know a lot of series, and which is good. You can kind of pick up where, you know, you can look, okay, cool, someone you can read as standalones. I feel y'all don't at me, don't come from me, none of that. I just feel for me that in order to kind of get the gist of who Jedidiah is, you have to go back to Face Down Friday, Sins of the Saint. You have to really go back to Carter Undone.
I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, so I was just like, okay, this is, and I caught it because I'm like, okay, but my friend, when she read it, she's like, girl, what happened? I said, girl, let me tell you, let me go back to this book right here. So y'all, you know, read this, go get the whole, you got to get all of it. Go start with Carter Undone. Well, no, Dad, because then you gonna know who Carter is with the man. Listen, I know y'all, what y'all need to do. Y'all need to read all of them. It's crazy. How did you come up with the name? First of all, let's think about the series. First of all, what made you come up with just the plot of the series? And girl, Face Down Friday, where did that name come from?
So the plot for the series,
girl, my hair every time I say it.
I actually had the plot for this series before I started writing my Tamaria Madden series, which the 4 books in that series, or 5 if you count the additional wedding book, they actually were initially introduced in Elite Event series. So it's the first series I ever wrote. And the 2 heroines in Red Velvet Kisses and Beautiful Surrender had 4 other brothers. And I just was kind of waiting, you know, to write their book. But I also knew that I didn't want to write it with a publisher because I knew how this series was going to go. So I was like, these 2 brothers, but I'm about to do these other 4. And that's exactly what I did. And so when I finally had time to write Tamaria Madden, I already had the whole layout for Crowne Legacy. And, you know, a lot of it is just from things that I watch, things that I see, people that I know, inspired by some folks that I know. It's like, I think that for me, you know, anytime someone inspires a character, a book or something like that, I always say, hey, you just gave me this idea. Are you okay if I really can expand on that? And I haven't got a no yet, knock on wood.
Okay.
So so when I first wrote High Class Society back in 2015 and Jade was introduced, I knew she would end up with Nash. And Nash was actually in one of my Kamani books, my last Kamani book actually. And it was Her Christmas Wish. And so he was the brother of the hero in that. So it's like, I guess for me, this kind of works my patience a little bit because I put these characters in books and I know that they're going to get a story. And then I have to wait until I actually have time to give them their story. So for Crowne Legacy, yeah, it had been something I had been plotting for years. I mean, maybe at this point, like 7 or 8 years.
Wow.
So I just am getting to write it now. It was last year in 2020, Face Down Fridays came out. And that title and that day back in the 2015 High Class Society book, Blue Sapphire Temptation, when that is mentioned and Jade mentions all about this Face Down Fridays, I have been trying to find what to call this day. And I said, I didn't want to just call it, you know, the other F word Friday, any F word. I said, that's just easier. I said, I really need like something that's going to hit.
Yes.
And my husband was walking through the kitchen and he goes, Face Down Fridays, easy. I'm like,
what was on his mind?
So he actually came up with that. And when he came to naming the actual book, I said, I can't think of any other name to call this book, but Face Down Fridays. It fits so much of what it is.
Definitely it is, girl. Okay, so tell everybody a little bit about, because I'm not telling them to come get this series, period. So Face Down Fridays and Sins of a Saint.
Yes.
That leads into Jedidiah. So tell them a little bit about those two books. I guess entangle them a little bit.
Entangle them, yeah. So Face Down Fridays, since the whole series is about foster children who were adopted by an affluent Black couple in Chicago, who basically adopted them based off of the things that they knew they'd done in their past and things that they appreciated in them. So each individually. And so the first sibling that you get to read about is Nash in Face Down Fridays.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Let me just say this real quick. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
When they adopted these kids or the foster kids, I don't know why I felt like it was something else. You know what I'm saying? I felt like maybe at the end it's gonna find out that they're kind of related. Something, you know what I mean? I was like,
no.
Okay, cool. Because I was like, you know, Sherelle got tricks up her sleeve, honey. She might have to see.
I know, you know, I love twists.
Yes, and I felt it down in my soul. I felt like there's a twist coming on in one of these. Okay, cool. Okay,
it is. It definitely is. Definitely some big twists coming still. And so, like, that's what Face Down Fridays was kind of just like the teaser. It was the prelude. It was the introduction into this family. It was also my way of letting readers know this is different than my other work. I just want you to be prepared to expect the unexpected. Have this little taste. If it's your jam, keep going. If it's not, maybe read some of my other stuff.
Right.
And Sins of a Saint is actually Sins of a Saint is with the second brother, Saint. Is his story, and he's the cleaner of the family. So he's the one that goes that you have come in to clean up the bodies of the people who are murdered or killed, and that's kind of what he's been good at since he was young. So you get to see his background as to why they adopted him, as to how he even met the Crowne family in the first place. And through both of those books, you really see Jedidiah, who's also Jackie D. I guess I should mention that all of the siblings have liquor nicknames, and it's just kind of a way for them to keep it where people don't necessarily always know who they are when they're talking in public and things like that. So it's like some of the Crownes actually are in the spotlight like Nash is, and then other ones are kind of behind the scenes like Saint. And you can arguably say that Jackie D is the most in the dark, which is he doesn't do no public speaking, no anything. I mean, if you know he a Crowne, you know he is. If not, you'll see him in the shadows. That is his role. And so that was, his book had to be third because I know the goal I have for the whole series. And unlike some of my other series where you can definitely read it as a standalone, I agree with everything you said, Shay. This has to be read in order. It's too many spoilers. I've never written a series this connected before, so I feel like it does it a disservice if you don't like read the whole entire series.
You got to, because then because if you don't, you're gonna start reading it out of order. Because
right.
You know, my friend, instead of her going back, when she started reading Jedidiah's Crown of Glory, she started reading it and she was like, okay, wait. So she went back to Sins of a Saint.
Yeah.
And then she's like, wait, hold on. But I was like, no. Just stop what you're reading, forget everything that you know. Mm-hmm. Go back. And then, and that gave it to an order. So yeah, it has to be. I love this series.
Oh, thank you.
I do. I really do. No shit, no shade. I love this series. I was like,
I mean, I love creatively where it's making my mind go, and I love the freedom I just have to do whatever. I feel like I was the most nervous for Face Down Fridays because it was like, well, actually Carter's, and I take that back, Carter's Undoing, because that was even different than the other books in the Madden series. So I was just like, I know everyone won't love everything you write, but I said, even if it get a little love, it's going to make it easier for me to release the rest of the books.
Girl, these are bestsellers. They getting all the love, honey.
Thank you. Yeah, they're getting a lot of good love. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much.
And speaking of a lot of good love, it brings us to the next segment here in the Brown Book series called Who'd You Rather? When we take two of your heroes, we pit them against each other, and we want to know who you want to just knock down for one night. That's it. We talking about hair pulling up against the wall, no marriage, no none of that. Yes, sir. Let's go.
Okay.
You ready?
Ready.
All right. Who'd you rather? I hate that I put these two against each other.
What you do?
I don't know why I did that. It was a struggle for me. You know what? Since it's so much of a struggle, I ain't gonna even go to them first.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say them for last because it
my
was
heart beating fast.
Girl, mine was too. I was like, Shay, why you do that? Okay, cool. So we're gonna go to these first. Okay. Who'd you rather? Trey Moore or Joshua DeLong?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that I can't remember Trey Moore.
You can't remember Trey?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go with Joshua DeLong.
Okay, and why Joshua?
I'm gonna go with Joshua because of Miami Affair. I just loved how he was with Becca, but I also loved his family a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know, men who are good with their family, that's really sexy to me. So I would probably go with Joshua for that reason.
Yeah, that's sexy with me too. Nigga, prefer man be like, I don't get along with my family. What? Because I'm family oriented.
Me too. I am too. Yeah, I am too.
Honey, you better call your mama sometime. Okay, who'd you rather? Kadaris Cathan or Crayson Madden?
Crayson is bae. I love Kadaris, but Crayson, Crayson, I don't even. He hits my top hero so many times. I just can't even express it. So, yes, Crayson Madden all the way with his cigar loving.
Yes, girl. I love their names, Kadaris and Crayson.
Thank you.
Girl, I love those names.
Thank you. Took me so long to come up with those names.
Really?
It's so much like just trying to manipulate names that are already popular.
Oh, yeah.
And just trying to come up with stuff. But yeah, Crayson. I love Kadaris, but Crayson.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. Last one. Who'd you rather? Dominic Prescott or Carter Madden?
Oh, I love Dom. Dom just came out this year.
Wow.
Dom is with my Once Upon a Funeral series with my list.
Yes, some Prescott brothers.
I know. Yes. I love Prescott's.
But the Madden boys.
I know.
Girl. I put into that, I was like, oh, I don't like that. Oh, why I do that?
And you know what? This sounds so backwards, but it's like I can't see Carter with anybody other than Serenity. So it's like I know that they're just characters, but I'm just over here.
Yeah, y'all hang up on Sherelle. She don't even want it. You
I'm gonna go with
the girl code.
I'm gonna go with Carter.
You gonna go with Carter?
I'm gonna go with Carter.
Okay, why?
Because Carter was broken. Need some love. Feel like he need all the love that he can get, but I also feel like he's like a deep soul. It's it's more to both of them than what meets the eye.
Yeah.
But Carter is so near and dear to my heart because he's existed since my first series. Right. So it's just really, it's hard to pass up on some of my Madden boys in general for that reason. Especially Carter, because he's like,
She wants to be with Carter. Okay, here's a twist. Since you like twists, how about Carter or Grayson?
Grayson.
Grayson is bae. Grayson is bae.
Grayson is bae.
I read the story. I listen. I ain't mad at you at all.
Grayson is bae.
I ain't mad at you at all. A mess. All right, Sherelle, author's moments. When we ask you a couple of questions, and you just give us the best answers that you can. So I used to say honest, but I ain't got time for nobody looking for me later on. Be like, I didn't do it. I don't know what y'all talking about.
You said honesty.
Guys, the honest. I was like, oh, I don't know. I didn't know that girl gonna say that. They be like, we need the tape. It's deleted, sir. I don't know. In fact, I ain't even talk to her. I don't even know.
I don't know nothing.
I don't know nothing. So I'm letting you know now. That's how I get there. I don't know nothing. I don't know. And we look so innocent with it too, girl. I don't.
Like you said, honest.
I'm just being honest. Okay, cool. Author's moments. What is your most urgent priority for the rest of the year?
Ooh. Is that the book related or just in general?
Life in general.
In life, my most urgent priority, it has to be just trying to live my life as much as I can and not overthink things. I think for me, especially with 2020, with us not being able to travel and things like that, traveling is just such a huge part of me. It's such a huge part of my husband. It's just, I love to experience new things, meet new people, new cultures and stuff like that. But I think what comes along with that is protecting my peace and protecting my energy and just accepting that I can say no to some things, that I don't have to be everything to everybody. So for me, it's an urgent priority because it's just something that I feel like what 2020 allowed me to do is just grow a lot individually in me and just accept certain things. I guess you say I'm a people pleaser and I know that about myself. So it's like just certain things I'm learning to protect for myself. And so I think that's like an urgent priority is just to do that. And it ties into my traveling because when I can get away from life and work and all of that stuff, it's just the relaxing breather that I need. So
that's what's up. I get it. Well, you're a people pleaser, girl, because I just but I have been delivered from that. Thank you, Lord.
Look, kudos to you.
Girl, 2020 has delivered me from people.
Oh,
I'm talking about the Lord gave me a no down in my spirit. I'm like, no. I just thought I said no. My husband be like, babe, they ain't answering that. Oh, I'm sorry.
When she said you couldn't stop. Nope. Yeah.
Girls the best, honey. Lost a lot of friends, lost a lot of family members, but I am at peace.
And if you're at peace and you're protecting your peace, then that's what matters. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You just be at peace, honey. Because sometimes I just feel like you compromise to the point that you have betrayed yourself. It's like you're spiritually drained. You just, honey, no. I can't do
What's your word of the year?
No. Sorry, no.
Oh, I love it. That's good.
All right. Author's moments. In being a novelist, what did you learn a little too late?
Ooh,
A little too late.
Gosh, I think what I learned a little too late, probably not to. It kind of goes along with the question you just asked. Protecting my energy, kind of that you can't accept everyone into your circle. You can't have everyone be so close to you where you just kind of lose a part of yourself or lose a part of even how you are in the writing. I feel like we all have a demanding career. We don't get into it for the money. We don't get into it for the accolades. You get into it because you have a story that needs to be told, stories that need to be told, and you just want to get them out in the world and in hopes that they help other people, in hopes that other people can relate to what you're doing in your writing. And I just think I went into it just trusting so many people. I'm not ashamed to admit I got burned a few times and didn't expect it. But I think getting into the industry in my early 20s, it's just a lot that I learned now in my 30s, where I'm like, if I could, do
it over again.
If I could do it over and just kind of give myself some advice when I got into the industry, it would just be like, don't be so trusting so soon. And it's not because certain people are like, are bad people or anything like that. It's just that protecting your energy is important. Protecting your craft is important. And I feel like writing for the right reasons is also important. Like, I do it because I love it. And it's not forgetting that that's why I do it. So.
Well, I'm glad you love it, girl, because
I do love it.
When I read it, I'm like, this is good. Oh, this is good.
Thank you.
All right, Sherelle, author's moments. If you could have tea with one fictional character, who would it be?
With one of my fictional characters?
One of yours and one of someone else's.
Okay, so for mine,
I already know who you can have tea with.
Actually, I want to have tea with Jordan, who is Crayson's wife. Okay. And I would have tea with her just because she's a character that she just, I don't even feel like I talk about her a lot, but she just hit a lot of
you could be trying to knock off her man.
Right. I mean, because I love Crayson, but it's like, I loved her too. I love the layers that she had. She was my, can I curse? She was my boss bitch character. So
we do everything here.
So with her boss bitch type of personality and how she is, I would love to meet her, sit down, talk about how she overcame some of the struggles she had to face in life, and she with my man Crayson, so I feel like he would be there too. So yeah,
she gonna whoop your ass trying to get with her man. I'm telling you,
all in love. You never know what she into.
Hey, I want to just watch.
I'm just kidding, but yeah, I would love to have tea with her. She's like near and dear to me. So yeah.
All right, cool.
And you said one of somebody else's?
Yeah, if you want to have tea with anyone else's fiction and character, or you like, nah, I just want to holler at Jordan.
I mean, because I feel like it's a lot of fictional characters I would love to have it, but I can't just pick one of somebody else's.
I got it.
Yeah,
I'll have them in my home. Sherelle, what would your pen name be?
Ooh.
And it can't be Face Down Fridays.
It's not. But what's so funny about that is that I literally had a pen name. I can't remember what the last name was, but the first name was going to be Jordan.
Oh, I can see that.
Who I just gave obviously I gave her the character name, and I'm not going that route anymore. But I think it was going to be like Jordan Claire or Jordan something like that. And I had it all picked out, but I kind of dropped that once I decided to keep going with. Okay,
that would be cute. All right, I like that. Author's moments. If you could sit down with your 15-year-old self, what would you tell her? She said, "Ooh-wee."
We already talked about how I've been a people pleaser. I think at 15, I'm the type of person where it's always been all of my family coming up to me, been there for my friends, been there for my aunts, uncles, everybody pretty much. And I guess if I could sit down with my 15-year-old self, I would just kind of remind her that she doesn't have to be everything to everybody. And it's okay to still be there for the people that you love, be there for the people that you don't even know. Like I could meet a stranger, they could tell me a little bit of their life story, and I would want to talk to them for years just to make sure they're okay. And it's just because it sits on my heart. Right. So I don't know if that's something that when I was younger, it's like, I don't know if that's something that's just never going to go away, or if it's something that in those teenage years when it seemed like those friendships, when everything was so important that you had to put so much of yourself into relationships, did I really have to put that much? Because then it ended up being a few years later when you needed people, they weren't all there.
Girl, nowhere.
Yeah, and to also not let it harden my heart. I don't feel like it has, but just to remind my 15-year-old self that life just happens. We all go through things. It's okay. It's all going to be okay.
It's all going to be okay.
Stay true to yourself, but then also don't let people walk over you.
This is true, girl. Don't be doing that, honey. Not at all. All right, author's moments. What's something you've tried really hard to like but just couldn't?
Ooh, I think, I don't know. I think, 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 I think This is hard. Something I try really hard to like,
Really
but
hard to like. I just couldn't.
Because the thing what I would have said, like if you would have asked me this a few months ago, oh, they're not gonna like me for that. I could not get into audiobooks for a while.
A lot of people could. I couldn't either for a while.
It was really hard. And then when my books start coming out in audiobook, I was like, Sherelle, you got to get it together. Like this is, and I feel like kind of what turned me around from that is just getting to know more of the narrators and things like that.
That's the key. That's the, it's like, that's the key. Because if the narrators don't sound good, it's like, don't nobody want to hear this.
Right. And even some of the readers who are so, they advocate so hard for audiobooks. You just I said, you know what? I'm going to buy a bunch of them. And I'm going to get into this. So I try really hard, but months ago, I would have said try really hard, but couldn't. Now I try really hard and I do. Like I've spent the last week and a half, honestly, just listening to so many audiobooks. I'm like, this is great, including my own, because I hadn't listened to all. So now I have.
Yeah, you are so funny. I had to put the audiobooks down. That dang on Kennedy Ryan's Real.
Yep. Oh yeah.
What Jacoby was
Jacoby Deal.
Jacoby.
He's on my Madden series, so he is one of the people who got me into it. Because I'm, you know what? If they can make it sound like this reading it, I should be able to get through this. Because just listening to the voices.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
She said she called him Jacoby Dim Damn. I call him Jacoby Dick Damn. I don't know what he looked like, but he can get it. Facts. I don't even care. He can just blindfold me and talk to me, baby. Like, that boy sound good. So I had to cross my legs down, honey. Whew. All right. Wait, he read what series of yours?
He's on my Madden series. So he's on Blessed by Malachi and Claimed by Crayson, Caden's Situationship, and Carter's Undoing. He's on those 4.
Oh, I gotta go back because I just read. I didn't do the audio. Ooh.
Oh, I loved it. So, like I said, that's what helped me. I think you getting my own book. I said, okay, if you're gonna have your own books and audiobook, you have to learn to, to get into it and figure it out. And honestly, I think it's because too, what my husband would say, I don't sit still often. I'm like always moving. And so I think with the audiobooks, it always felt like I had to sit there and listen. And I didn't understand. I said, what? I got stuff to do. And then I start paying attention. People are like, oh, I listen to it in the car. I listen to it when I walk. I listen to it when as soon as I put them in my headphones, it was like a whole new world. I said, oh, yeah, I'm just doing it wrong.
And you're doing it wrong. And I'm telling you, because when I have it on too, when I have my big, you have to use my big headphones.
Yep.
Clear everybody out. And when they talk, and for me, if I have to stop it, it just automatically picks up. It's like, okay, the dream is just back on. It's not like, okay, girl, I love it.
The visual is easier to grasp when it's like that. Yeah, and you love it with headphones, like you said. That's what got me, because then I'm just in the moment and I'm not distracted.
Not distracted, girl. I just read those books. I got to go back now and listen to them.
Oh yeah, girl. He's
I'm
great.
doing that this weekend. At Author's Moments, what do you most look forward to about getting old?
Ooh. I have never been one of those people that was nervous about getting older. Mm-hmm. I think for me, I've always been an old soul. So my family tells me. So I think I'm the most looking forward to just growing, growing with my husband, growing with my family, seeing, like how my sister's life blossoms, and, praying that my parents continue in their good health and just living life the way that they're doing now in retirement. So I always just love to people watch and just love to just be present in everything that I can. Mm-hmm. And so I think that if I see all the people I love doing well, and I know we'll face hard times, but at least being able to be with each other and overcome it. If I could witness that and then also continue being happy myself, then that's a blessing. I'm good.
I love it. Absolutely love it. All right, last one, and we all up in your business. What's the craziest thing you and your husband has ever done together?
Ooh, what? Craziest thing me and my husband have ever done, or could it just be me
You, your husband, girl. This is romance.
Whew.
Craziest thing you and your husband
hear me.
ever done. You say you hope he don't hear you.
You said what was how honest we supposed to?
I don't know nothing.
I'm trying to think of something PG to say.
This is not a PG talk show.
I'm gonna go back to. You ever had those moments? It's okay. You know what? Whoever hears it, it's good. I love my husband. I write romance. You get it. You ever had those moments where you just have to have it when you have to have it.
Have to.
And so it's a park that we used to frequent when we were dating. So way back in the day, and we've been dating since we were young, so we were teenagers. So it's like we used to love going there. And then of course over the years things change in the city. They start closing stuff up, and so they had closed it, down. And so we said, well, if we can drive there, we can still have that moment, or to just do something, get it out before we get home, because that was just too far of a drive. We should make it happen. Reminisce about those days when we first got together.
Yes.
So they had the gate a little ajar. We just pushed the gate up, open a little bit, drove the car through. We parked in case we had to make a clean exit. We were ready. And right when we were getting ready to do it, somebody knocked on the window. And it was somebody who just wanted to tell us, oh yeah. I said, only in the city of Chicago. I didn't know what to say. We didn't know what to say. I don't even know if it's the craziest thing we've done or just the craziest thing that happened to us.
That is hilarious.
Literally, I froze. I'm just like, who in the world comes and knocks on the car? And then they said, continue. Don't mind me. I'm like, nah, we good up here. Draw the car. And I said, this is why they have places closed for a reason. Obey them. No trespassing. Means no trespassing. And that is what I learned that day.
Oh my God, that shit was crazy. Oh my God, that was so funny. Sherelle, I told you was my kind of girl. Dead or alive, girl, if you were hosting a dinner party and could invite 5 people from any era, who would it be?
From any era?
Any era, dead or alive.
I mentioned how my grandmother inspired my writing and she passed away. So I think definitely her. I know she was looking down when I started my career, and she knew that I, wrote the book, finished the book, and now I'm like almost at 40 books. So I know she knows all of this. But if I could just talk to her about it or see it, I'm gonna try not to get emotional. But yes, I would love to invite her, especially because she's in so many of my books as well. And,
I noticed that.
She inspires so much, and including my grandfather. So her husband, he passed away a couple of years ago, and he loved her so hard. They were married over 50 years. Honestly, what he said is that he wanted to go right when she left, but it wasn't the time. So when he passed away, he said it was because she needed me to stay around for longer.
Oh.
So definitely, if I could see the two of them, girl, let me not be emotional.
Girl, you about to be on solo screen.
Oh
my God.
The 2 more will probably be my sister and my mom, because they miss them as much as I do. So if we had a dinner party with them, and then the 5th will actually be my other grandmother. So my dad's mother. She is about to be 94.
Oh, wow.
My grandparents are going on celebrating their 70th wedding anniversary. So it's a big one. But she suffers from dementia, and my grandmother was her best friend, and it hit her hard too. So whenever I'm with my other grandmother, she can't help but see my grandma in me, so she talks about her so much. And then she'll snap to it and be like, but I miss her so much. So if I could have the 5 of us,
that'll be a part. That's crazy that you said that. I tell you, we're too much alike. Both my grandmothers was like best friends too.
Really?
They just called each other. That's my buddy. It was buddies. That's my buddy. Where's my buddy? I'm like, girl, hold on. And it was just so cool that we would come home like Saturday nights from the club, and my grandmother Ruby was a cooker.
Yeah.
She cooked for the gods, Jesus. We come home drunk, they up she's up cooking because Sunday you gotta go to church. Drunk about you gotta go to church. So we get up, then I walk in the house and both of my grandmothers are sitting there. Like one is up cooking, got Mahalia playing, my other grandmama. Now we couldn't have beer in the house. But that's her buddy. So my other grandma, she's sitting there at the table, she drinking her beer. Well, y'all crooks been tonight.
Oh man, I love that.
Yeah, so they was so different, but I'm like, they're different, but they was buddies. They was together, that was
they were my grandmothers were completely different. And you talk about one who was raised Catholic, the other raised Jehovah's Witness. They were completely different. Their bond though was so special. It's why grandmothers are written so special in my books. It's hard not to seeing them. So, and I know with her dementia, like if she could see her again, ooh, that'd touch my heart. So I love to hear that you had that with your I didn't, I haven't heard another person saying that their grandmothers were best friends. So I love that.
Yes, girl, it was a mess. And it was totally different. One was, she would drink, cuss. Like I had the card game going. And my other grandma, she's in the church or whatever. Like, what you doing? Frying fish. Lord's got a card game going. What kind of this match?
They spirits connected.
Exactly. They spirits connected, and they was fun. It was good seeing them together.
Oh, I love it.
Well, Sherelle, this has brought us to the end of our interview. We have one question left, but before we ask this last question, first I want to say thank you so much for joining us. This has been an absolute treat.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun.
Absolute treat. Let everybody know, first of all, where they can find your latest novel and how they can get in contact with you and all your social, your website and your social media handles.
Yes. So my latest novel is Jedidiah's Crowne and Glory, and it just released last month. And so you can get that on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, and it's part of the Crowne Legacy series that I was talking about earlier. And for me, my website is just www.sherellegreen.com. And my social media is also at Sherelle Green. So if you put that into Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, you should be able to find me. And I'm always love talking to new people. So definitely give me a holla.
That's what's up. Y'all give her a holla. All right, Sherelle. Last question. If you were writing a book about your life, what would the title be?
But First Coffee.
But first. First things first, okay? But first coffee. I absolutely
say that anytime somebody wants to talk to me about something early in the morning, I literally would say, but first coffee. Otherwise, you can't get me to function. So I definitely think that would be it, because you in for a long, crazy, blessed, bumpy ride. So first, I'm going to need coffee.
First, I'm going to need coffee. I absolutely love that. Brown Book Series. Give a round of applause for Miss Sherelle Green.
Oh, thank y'all.
Oh, 1 second for me, Sherelle. Thank you. Hold on. Oh my God, that was such a treat. And I know you guys like that. So please like and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell another friend, and go get that series. I'm telling you, Sherelle's that Crowne Legacy series is everything. All right, y'all know what's up. 6 o'clock. Right here, Brown Book Series. And after you play with me over here at 6 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, we're going to go on over to Authors Behind the Pages with Reese Ryan. Reese has awesome interviews over there as well. And then after we finish up with Reese at 7 o'clock, we're going to cruise on over to Cruise Radio with Iris Moment for Iris Moments. Iris Bolling for Iris Moments on Cruise Radio. Everything will be in the description box below. You guys be wonderful, be safe, be blessed, and I see y'all on next week.
Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book, baby.